want to go faster, you can of course go to the gym and build up some monster legs. But what if you can also improve your speed by just doing a lot of drills? Well, today I've gathered 30 exercises to improve your speed. So sit back, take some notes, and then go out and get it. Right, so Carsten, this is the famed speed cord. Lots of sensors going on here. Very high tech. What's the deal with this? Why are you using it?
The speed cord gives us the ability that we can do training, but we also can do diagnostic. And diagnostic is, for example, what Bayern Munich is doing with this. So the players, when they're in pre-season, they go first on the speed cord, then they do 2 drills so that the coaches exactly can measure what they are doing, how fast are they now, how fast were they before they left for the summer break, and then also they can, in the season, they can follow up, is the player improving, and so on. The diagnostic is for the big clubs thing, so therefore Bayern Munich has it, Real Madrid, I know they have it, a lot of Bundesliga clubs, they have this kind of thing using it for diagnostic. But as I said, then also for training, because obviously change of direction is a big thing, but not only changing direction, but also agility. Agility means that you have a signal, like you see the ball or you see a person moving, and based on this you have to move your body.
So you can basically check if I'm fast enough, but you can also help me actually improve my speed.
Exactly.
Right. So let's go into the diagnostics just to see how they actually work, because it's fun, right? And then also we can look at how to actually train your speed. And later, we're also gonna see what you can do if you don't have access to a speed cord. Yeah. But Carsten, the first 2 diagnostics drills that Bayern München do.
They do 2 drills. They do something called star run and something called chase next. Okay. And these 2 drills you're going to do now.
Right. I'm excited.
So, what could I do better?
First of all, you did it really, really well. I mean, coming first time, of course, it's a learning also. So the more often you come, the easier it gets. But there's a couple of things when you change direction, where you see, okay, here you have some potential of improving. There's one thing, for example, when you go from the center to the outside, you would be basically in this position. So your body would move to the outside, though you know you have to go to the inside next again, okay? So instead it would be better if you would have this position. So my body is already pointing into the direction where I'm going next, and now you see my weight is on this leg, not on the outside leg. And from here, I can push off back into the center, okay? So when I'm going here, pam, pam. And it's also, it prevents you from injuries, because here you have more stress on the structure of the bones, of the muscles, so therefore it's easier, it's safer to change on this side.
Okay. Do you reckon I will be faster if I do, instead of this, I do this?
I guess, because you know where you have to go. And then it's easier. Then you can point with your body already into this direction.
So Carsten, what about the second drill that the pros use?
The second drill is something where you need to kind of anticipate a little bit more. Part of our game when we play football, it's not only that we take a decision once we have received the ball, but we have to take the decision already before. Thiago, the player of now Liverpool before Bayern Munich, he once was asked, how much time do you have when you receive the ball? And he would say -1 second. So he has to take the decision where he's passing, where he's running next before he gets the ball. So that is what you're doing next. Now you see 2 lights, a white one and a green one. You have to go to the white one, but the green one is indicating where you have to go next. So the moment you touch the white one, the green will turn into white, and there will be another green one. You always have to have a connection with the screen, with the monitor, so you have on the way, you have already to scan and to be prepared if you have to make a right turn, a left turn, or to come back.
So this is not just about like actual physical speed, it's also about the agility of your brain.
It's a lot of, we call it brain speed.
Yeah.
Because without the brain speed, the body will not move quickly.
And that's one of the differences between the high-level pros and the really solid,
exactly,
good amateur players.
I can do things slowly.
Sure. Me too.
I can do that, but if I'm pressed, when I'm under stress, then of course it's another game, and therefore that's what the best players can do. When they are pressed, they have a solution already before they get pressed, so that's why it sometimes looks so easy for them.
Right. So this is not easy.
It's not so easy.
So, what could I do better?
First of all, it was good.
Okay.
I mean, it's difficult when you do it the first time. Where you can actually save some time, where you can make yourself faster, is by scanning earlier. So now you were scanning just before you arrived at the box, instead of already just when you left the box before. Then you have to make the scan, because then you have more time to prepare to come to the next box and have to turn to the left or to the right.
Yeah, that's a new thing for me, because I usually scan, before there's even a situation where I can get the ball. As the ball is passed to me, I scan. When I get the ball, I scan, but I don't really scan that much when I'm dribbling. I focus on what's in front of me. So that's an interesting one.
And this is, when you see the best players, how often they scan. They're basically constantly scanning. And that is one of the basic things, what they're doing, and that is making them actually better than the two of us.
So instead of that, I need to go like that. Turn the head.
Exactly.
Okay. There's also the training part, where you really train your brain and your speed.
Exactly, because as we said, brain speed is the most important. And we're working a lot with colors. Why is that so important? Because, for example, your team is wearing a white shirt. My team is wearing black. My goalkeeper is blue. Your goalkeeper is red. The referee is yellow. So there's a lot of different colors on the pitch, and depending on what I see, I have to make a different move. For example, if we are playing in defense and I see something white, I have to go to the right because I have to cover you. If I see something black, I can make a move to the left because the right side is already covered by my teammate. So depending on what colors we see, we have an action, and that is why it's so important to do it. There's one scene, you will find it on YouTube, when Thiago, when he was playing for Bayern Munich, they were wearing red. And then you can see on the sideline where you see the boards, the digital boards with some advertisement. They came, I cannot remember exactly if it was Santa Claus or if it was a car. It came and it was red. And then he's passing the ball there. Because he saw something red, teammate, I can pass the ball. So therefore it's very important that we connect quickly also with colors. And that's a drill now that you are going to do here on the speed court.
So basically it's about finding out what color is on the screen, what do I have to do, and what comes up next.
Exactly. And you see, this is the key thing here is not only the reaction, but taking the decision. Because your brain gets the information, it sees a color, and now I have to take a decision. What do I have to do with this information? And that is the key thing what we do in football. We have to take a lot of decisions.
Right.
And that is what we're learning here. And then if your brain is able to process this quicker and make your body move quicker into this direction where your brain has decided you need to go, that's where you win the time. That's what makes you faster.
And that's what separates the pros from us.
That's what the pros can, of course, do on a very high level. So that's one of the things they are better as the most of us.
I'm gonna suck so hard at this. All right, so Carsten, speed court is cool. And I think I can already tell a little bit of a difference with the stuff you told me. But not everyone has a speed court.
Unfortunately.
Not everyone can come to you or go to Real Madrid or Bayern Munich or wherever they have one.
Exactly.
So what can you do if you want to learn these things on your own?
You can do a couple of things, and that is what we're going to show you now. And for this, I have a little surprise for you, because now you will have a session with her. So Amna, she's playing for the Bosnian national team, and she will show you some drills, how you can do it without a speed cut.
So if you don't own a speed code, and I guess a lot of us, we don't really, there's still hope, because you can do a lot of other drills. And basically, what you need is 4 different colors that you can throw, and then you can basically do what we're gonna learn now. So what are the drills?
The drill is that you're gonna have a ball, I will throw it to you, and you need to see the color. Yeah? Say the blue color and throw it back. Exactly. Then you run to the flat cone with the same color and run back.
Okay.
Okay?
Green.
Good.
Blue. Green. Whoop.
Perfect.
Blue.
And good.
I'm a football player, not a handball player, you know?
Exactly.
You can tell.
And that's the thing, that you need to work with your body. Mostly we do with our feet. Now you need to look up and react and work with your hands.
So you also need to focus on more than one thing.
Exactly. That's the point, that we need to talk, we need to see and act and work with our body.
And as you can see, I don't really excel at that. So I need this drill. What's the level 2, so to speak?
The level 2 is that sometimes during the game you see something, but that is what your teammate's gonna do. You need to take another action. So maybe during the pressing, you see your teammate pressing on the right side, you need to take the other pressing, okay? So in this case, I throw the red one. You say the red color.
Red.
But you run to the opposite. In this case, yellow, exactly. Okay, you ready?
Yeah. Blue.
Good.
Yellow.
Perfect.
Blue.
Good. Perfect.
Okay. That is actually pretty confusing to begin with, but it kind of, you know, you just have to get it.
Exactly.
And I think it's all about practice as well, you know, scanning the pitch, talking to your teammates.
Exactly.
It's weird at first, but you gotta get used to it. So it's all about experience, it's all about practice.
Exactly, exactly.
So is there a third level for the really hardcore guys and girls out there?
Yes. So sometimes we have the tactical plan during the game. So we need to remember what do we need to do in different actions. So now we'll go back to the basic. I will give you the red one, and you say red and you run to the red.
Red, okay, that's over here.
Yes, and you go back. And we do it 4 times. So next one is blue.
Blue.
Good one. And we go for red again.
Red.
Good. And we go for yellow.
Yellow.
Good. Do you remember the order?
Yes, that was red, blue, red, yellow.
Good. Then you go and run. Okay. Go to the colors. Good. 1, 2, good. And back. Okay. Good. So you take the actions, but you need to remember where is your players? What do I need to do in this kind of action?
Is it okay for people to mess the order up the first few times?
Yeah, of course. Sometimes you do it a couple of times, but then you need to have your own different type of, like, can I remember the orders? How can I do to remember it as quick as possible?
Sure.
So think right, left, behind me.
The good players, do they reach a level where they just do it without thinking? Okay, so it's all about practice, getting this into your brain.
And you can always step it up.
Yeah.
Like we can do the opposite way and remember it and so on.
Yeah, let's not do that. Let's try that one more time, shall we?
Yes.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Red.
Good one.
Yellow. Blue. Red.
Good one. Okay. And go. Good one.
I got that. Now I just need to do it quicker and I guess do it again and again and again. But I feel the improvement already now. My brain starts to work just a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
But sometimes this is what we need during the warm-up. How much do we do the colors and really activate our brains during the warm-up? It's not so much, it's more our body. So this is some kind of way to prepare ourselves for the game. So you can be 2 and 2 during the warm-up and do this and then go for the game.
And basically, it's a way that everyone can practice obviously their speed, reaction time, but also the quickness of thought, which Carsten explained is so important in football.
Exactly.
So Carsten, speed-related exercises. So you're saying I have to work out to get fast as well?
It is supporting. It is supporting, but we have to understand only strength training is not making us faster.
Okay.
We also have to do it in a smart way,
Right.
and not just to do as tough as possible. Have big muscles doesn't really help, because muscles is more weight. When you have more weight, you need more energy to accelerate. So therefore, it can be also counterproductive. So therefore, we have to be smart when we do some strength drills. Actually, there were some studies that plyometric, so the bouncing and hopping, is more related to change of direction. So what we do a lot in football, rather than strength training. But what I'm going to show you is some easy drills you can do. You don't have to have a gym, because not all of us have access to a gym. So I will show you some drills, how you can work on this, and then it will help you to become faster.
So a little bit of exercise, if you do it right, it is needed. We have to do it, guys.
What is actually the most important part of your body when you play football?
My leg,
What sport do you play?
football, the ball, my feet.
Here we go.
My feet!
When we work into a full extension of our body, into full stretch, it starts with the foot. The foot is pushing off. In this move here, for example, we need the calf muscles a lot, right? So calf muscles are important for this kind of stretch. Now I will show you some drills that you come into this full extension, how you can feel that you're really stretched on your hip. When you put your arms like this, so when you look at me, you can't see your elbows. Now your hip is fully stretched. When you come with your arms a bit forward, now it's stretched anymore, okay? So always try to come into this position when you do the drills now, what I'm showing you, that you come into this full extension here of the hip.
Okay.
Okay, good. So now we start with something with the kettlebells here, okay? Because we need some weights. They are both 6 kilo. You go into this position. When I'm here, the ankle of my knee, when I stretch my arm, the palm of my hand is exactly at the same height than my knee. I don't want you to work from this position. I don't want you to work from that position. I want you to work from this position. Because look, when you change direction, what are you doing with your leg? And then you push off, right? And rule of thumb is always stretch your arms, the palm of your hands are exactly on the same height like your knees. So when you do it again, but stretch your arms fully. Here we go. That's it. That's exactly the position. So that you really try to push the hip a bit forward. Yes, that's it. Here we go. Here we go. Excellent. Yes. Now you will stand on this board. You see, it has a little bit of an incline, okay? If you don't have a board like this, you can, for example, do a towel. You roll up a towel that you're standing a little bit in that position. And then you do the same thing here. And yes, you see then it's very difficult to keep the balance. Yes, that was a good one. Yes, yes. Excellent. When we do this kind of strength training, it's not only about how much we lift, but it's also about the velocity. How quick do we lift it? So when I, for example, have 100 kilo, I will be very slow in pulling it up. When I have only 10 kilo, then I can do it fast. So also here I need a lot of energy. So we don't only have to think about the weight, but also the explosiveness. So now you do exactly the same thing. You're standing on the board here, pulling them up. You do this about 10 times. Then you leave the kettlebells, and then you try to bounce like this. And maybe you saw for me that I was lifting my toes a little bit when I was in the air. Okay, this is important when you're running. You would like to lift your foot a little bit to be able to push it into the ground to have a better leverage for accelerating, okay? But it's very difficult because this has to come only from your ankle. So not that you do like this, you try to be straight here, exactly, when you do it like this, okay? So just do it maybe 4 times, that should be enough. Good. Yes. 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 And now you try the bouncing. Yes. And go a bit forward. Here we go. Excellent. Okay, when you do it at home, for example, you would do this about 10 times, and then you would bounce for about 15 meters.
Okay, wow.
Basically, okay? You can make it then even that after the bouncing of 50 meters, then you have an acceleration, that then you have a sprint for 5 to 10 meters for using the activation of the muscles, because what you're doing here is that you're activating the muscles and then you want them to fire to go into the sprint.
So pump them up, full rocket mode.
Exactly, that's the thing.
All right. Why am I using my hands?
Okay, because even though you're using your hands, you will work now on your core.
Okay.
Okay, the core, we have heard this a lot, core exercises. That means that we need strength in this area. But we don't need it actually only in the muscles here, on the abdominal, but also on the muscles on the side, because they hold us in a stable position, that we're not falling over to this side or to that side. Because when I do this and I need to go there, of course I have a problem, right? So therefore, the more stability I have here, the easier it is for me to move. And that's what you're working on now with this. And all I want you to do is that you, from this position where you have your hands in front of your chest, that you just push your arms into a straight position. Exactly. And then you can go back.
Wow.
Okay.
That is pulling.
Yeah. Now you feel how the muscles here need to work, how you activate them.
So is this gonna make me faster?
This will hopefully help you to keep stability. Okay, and when we say faster, especially in football, fast is not only this way. We have a lot of change of directions. And we also can win speed by having a quicker break to change into another direction. And that is where it's helping for, okay? So better stability helps us especially in change of direction. So it's not only about running the fastest from this side, from that box to that box, but also when we change direction. So therefore, it's important.
Right.
Okay, now you did the easy one. Now we make it a bit more difficult. Now you will come in the standing position. Now you try the same thing you did in a standing position, okay? Just having this, what we call kind of an athletic position, that you have a little bit, go down in your knees a little bit, and now you do the same thing by pushing it forward here. And try that your upper body is not rotating, that it's not following the back, exactly, that it keeps entirely still, very good. And you can feel probably now how your muscles here have to work to keep your body in that position. Yeah. So it looks easy when you're standing outside. When you're doing the drill, I think you can agree it's a bit of a challenge.
Oh yeah, definitely makes you tighten your core.
Okay, when you do these kind of drills, it's also important to highlight it's not the more the better. Okay? So it's not that you do this and now, okay, I'm doing 4 sets of 10 or something like this. Maybe it's enough if you have one day you do only 1 set of 8 or 2 sets of 8 max, and then the next day you do it again 1 or 2 sets. So actually it's sometimes better that you have smaller volumes, smaller quantities of doing things, rather than 1 session a week and now I'm all in and I'm doing it 90 minutes and I'm completely destroyed when I'm getting out of the gym. That's not necessarily helping. So when we have strength training, we say we have to train smart. That's a key thing, to have the right things. So now you will do something with a band that is not flexible, okay? This band is completely stiff, so we'll do something we call an isometric exercise. Now you're just in this position, and now you try to press a little bit to the left, so to this side, okay?
Pressing.
Yeah, and have the arms a little bit more stretched, that your body's going a bit, that you have a bit more distance between.
Okay. Oh, I can feel that. I can feel that right in my abs.
Okay, and you hold this for 10 to 15 seconds.
Okay. That is definitely not enjoyable.
Okay, good. That's enough. But you see, now it has complete different effect than it had before. Before the band was giving in a little bit, okay? This one is not. That is what we call isometric. When I'm holding the muscle in the same position, so when I have a weight and I just try to hold it, half a minute, 1 minute, you will feel that you will lose control. That is what we call isometric, and that's what you just did. And that is also part what you have to do in strength training, that you do isometric drills.
Right. So this is all focusing on the core.
This is all focusing on the core, and especially now on the side of the core. Because this is where we football players also, we have a lot of rotations, right? And then we have to stabilize quickly again. So when we have a weak upper body, then of course it's going to be difficult. Also when I have a position like this and I can kick the ball, then I have a better control. The leg movement is becoming easier. I can kick the ball more precisely.
So Carsten, we already talked about Mbappe, we analyzed his ridiculous speed, and we also talked about his acceleration. But as you told me, there's more to Mbappe's speed than just acceleration.
Exactly. In acceleration is also frequency of steps, especially also when you're going into higher speeds. And if you're going to top speed, you need really, really quick steps, okay? But of course we can make quick steps with very small lengths of the steps. This is not making us really fast. So we also have to have longer steps with very high frequency. Frequency means how many steps can I make every second.
Okay.
Okay, just when we are driving a car, the speed we measure is kilometers per hour, miles per hour, okay? When we're running, what we actually measure is meter per second. How many meter can we run in 1 second? Okay. The more meter in 1 second, the faster I am, right?
So what's a high frequency?
A high frequency is when you see the sprinters is 4 or 5 steps every second. Okay, so that's pretty quick. When I'm saying 1, 2, in that time, some of the players made 4 or 5 steps, okay?
Okay.
So that is very, very fast. And this is why we have to work a lot with coordination, that our body really learns this, that really the brain knows exactly when to activate what part, what muscle to make us faster. And that is what we're doing with the agility ladder. We have to do it constantly. 2-3 times a week. You have to do these kind of things, the coordination, the jumping drills. This is really the key for being faster, to getting faster.
So basically, we need as high of a frequency as possible, as many steps as possible, and as long steps as possible.
Not as long steps. I mean, when we're talking about Usain Bolt, his steps are really, really long. They are 2.95 meters when he's at top speed, so this is even...
Wow.
That's a really, really big step. And he's taking 4 or 5 of this every second. So he is running with more than 12 meters every second, okay? Football player can't make this. But you can also see when he's coming to the finish line, he can't stop. He needs 30, 40 meters to slow down. In football, we don't have this time. I have to go and maybe the ball is lost and I have to return to the other side. I have to make a very quick stop to go another direction. When we look at the Mbappe video we saw, right? While he was taking 1 step more than the defender, just because his quick's a stepper, he's faster than the other player. So that's one of the key things really, to have a good length of the steps, but very, very quick.
Okay, so I want to move faster. We've got a ladder. What do I do? What do we do?
So, you're starting in the ladder by going with both feet inside, then one is stepping outside, both feet again in the center, then 1 foot on the left side, both in the center, and you move forward. So when I'm moving, it looks like this.
Okay, so we do...
You give it a try, exactly. Yes. Good, okay? And now you were sinking in a little bit. When you're in the ladder, try to be in a very high position if you can. Not falling down, because here you can work on your feet better.
Okay, I'll try one more time.
Okay.
Hey, watching guys, remember, train often, 3 times a week. That's dedication if you want to make it to the top as a fast guy. I'm too old for this, but you can still make it. Now we're speeding up here. Oi!
There was maybe one thing you were not noticing.
Okay.
Your left arm stood still.
Ah, it always does.
The left arm was not moving. Because now your nervous system, it's overloaded. So it's losing control of one part of your body. And that, of course, is slowing you down a little bit, right? In the overall movement. That's perfectly fine. It will develop over time. The more often you do it, the easier it becomes. And that's exactly the thing of the coordination training. Usain Bolt, at the end of his career, he would still do the basic drills. It never ends. You always have to do this part in the training.
And those are the clever words, guys. The hustle never, ever ends.
Now when we're working with this kind of ladder, what we can do is that because the fields are a little bit smaller, we can make even higher frequencies. We're pushing you into a smaller step, giving a higher frequency. And then also we can change direction here. So what you're going to do is basically running a slalom. So you're starting with both feet in the center line, the right foot steps on the left side, then both on the center again, and then the left on the right. So you always move one line forward with 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1.
Carsten, if you don't have a ladder like this, is there any other way you can practice it? Can you do it with cones or just on the ground?
You can imitate something with cones, of course, or if you have rings, you can do it also with rings, these kind of things. You can even do it without anything, or when you're on the street, you can take with charcoal, you paint it on the street, and then you have your grid. Right,
because not everyone's fortunate to have a nice grid like this. So we go. Dun, 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 dun. It's like Star Wars. Dun, dun.
Yes, you see it's a little bit of slalom.
Yeah.
And now you have your arms, for example, very far.
Okay.
You're trying to keep balance like this still. The next step would be then, of course, that you try already to get your arms like in the running, because you want to control it with your body rather than with your arms.
Okay, so.
Yes. Good.
So basically, what is this good for?
It is for the frequency. It will help your nervous system that it can coordinate the muscles better.
So basically, first drill, get up, high step frequency. Same thing here, just with a little bit of change. And with enough work, hopefully, you can just add a little bit of extra spice to that top speed.
Always full speed. There's only one thing that counts, it is full speed. And that is what we have to push ourselves always into this, because only then our muscles start adjusting and getting faster and faster and faster. So that's the key thing.
And that's what we want. Faster, 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 Mbappe.
Carsten, this sounds pretty promising. Whether you're slow or you're fast, there's always room for improvement. But also sounds a little weird. I mean, turning to become faster, how does that make sense?
Yeah, it actually is even more weird when I tell you, if you can brake faster, you're getting faster. Okay?
That doesn't make any sense at all.
So the thing is, when we do a lot of change of directions during the game. So in the game we have about 700 rotations, change of directions. That means that I'm moving to the side or that I'm going this way and then I have to go the opposite direction. So that's one of the key movements is change of direction. And when I say brake speed, that means the faster I can brake, the faster I can make the next move, the acceleration. And this is why it's so important, and it's very important for our muscles, because at that time they're doing the opposite thing. When I'm braking, I'm stretching my muscle, and when I'm accelerating, I'm shortening, then I'm contracting my muscles. Mm-hmm. And these two things, they are key, especially the transition from one to another, and that is what we have to focus on with our muscles.
But will I then get faster in braking and then subsequently accelerating if I just have big, juicy muscles?
No, actually not. It's not the bigger the muscle, the faster you are. And for this, to explain this, I have a short example. When you use the bottle, right? And if I would turn this around and I open the bottle, there's a certain amount of water coming out, right? Okay. So when I have a bigger bottle and I turn it around and I have the same opening, is more water coming out?
No.
No, it's not, exactly. Only unless I'm increasing the opening, then more water is coming out. And that's the same what happens with our muscle. First, I have to teach the muscle how to use the fibers inside perfectly, and then I can increase the size of the muscle. Because otherwise, more muscles means more weight, and that means actually when I'm getting heavier, I have to accelerate more mass, and therefore I'm becoming slower if I don't know how to use my muscles properly.
All right, that's a lot of theory and it sounds really good, but how can I then apply this
to my game to make me faster.
Yeah. Well, what we're going to do today is that I show you some plyometric drills.
Okay.
Plyometric drills, that means explosive hopping and jumping.
Okay.
Because when we do this, we do exactly the same thing we need for changing direction. First we brake and then we accelerate. And this is what our body, what our nervous system needs to learn, and then we can use it in the game, and then I'm running fast, I can move faster in the game.
So that's basically a tip for everyone, no matter how fast you are, to just become faster.
That's actually even the top players working with plyometrics, to become faster, to be faster in changing directions in the game.
So you said jumping is gonna
yes.
make me brake faster so I can be faster.
It will prepare your body, exactly.
Okay.
Because what happens when we're jumping? When we're jumping, we're landing, so that means we're braking and we're accelerating,
Okay.
right? And this is what we call stretching, shortening cycle. First we stretch the muscle, then it will be turned into shortening. If I do it with my arm, this is when the muscle becomes longer, it stretches, and then it becomes shorter, it contracts.
Right.
Okay? So it's the opposite. And this we can learn with the jumping perfectly. Okay? The key thing is here that you try to be as short as possible on the ground. That means that you bounce as explosive as possible once your foot has touched the ground into the air again.
Okay.
Okay? So the first drill, I want you to jump with your right foot in the right, and then you jump to the left. And you try to do this, as I said, try to have very short contact times, okay? Not that you're landing, but that you try to be as explosive as possible when you touch ground.
Okay. So like this?
That's it. Very good. Good, excellent. So what you're now doing, that was very good. That was that you would pre-activate the muscle before landing, and then when you're on the ground, you're very explosive.
Okay.
And what you had done very good is that you were jumping into your shoulders. That's a rule of thumb, that you always try to jump into your shoulders exactly, that you raise this part of your body as high as possible, that you're not only jumping into your hip, but like when you go for a header, you want to be with your head as high as possible.
Okay.
And that is what you did really well. Okay, so try it one more time. Excellent, good. Very good. Yes. And what you also do at the same time here, you see every time you jump into the air, you fully stretch your leg. And when you remember, this is what you need for running fast.
Yes.
That you come into the full stretch. So that's a perfect rule to do so. Okay?
Okay.
Now, if you're a little bit more advanced, you see this is a triple ladder. So therefore you can do the exactly same jump also from the very right lane into the very left lane.
Okay.
But try to focus still on going high, not just going wide, left, right. Always try to go as high as possible into your shoulders. Another thing is try to be in the air as long as possible.
Okay.
Okay?
That's
Good. And you see there was already a bit more of a challenge,
That was difficult.
right? Before, with the 2 lanes, it was not a problem for you, it was easy. But now the moment you go one further to the side, it's becoming more difficult.
Yes.
And this is why we have this for the starter, when they start doing things, and then when you're more advanced, then you can make it more difficult by jumping from one side completely to the other side. So this one leg jumps,
Yes.
that's the key thing we need in football to improve the change of direction speed. Now you're going to do a combination drill. Combination drill means that here you're working again with the same drill you just did, the plyometrics. This is for the reactive power. And then you go into the second ladder for the frequency. Because as we said, speed is a combination of frequency and reactive power. So we have also to do this in a training session, okay? So you do exactly the same here. You jump with one foot from left to right. Then you go full speed to the next ladder. Then one contact in the next ladder, and then full speed to the cone.
Gotcha.
Okay? Yes, that's it. Very good. Excellent. When we do this, this is very intense. After this, you should walk back.
Okay.
Because there's a rule of thumb that we say intensity to rest should be 1 to 20 or 1 to 30. That means when you do something for 1 second, you should rest 20 seconds. 2 seconds, 40 seconds. 3 seconds, 60 seconds, okay? Because otherwise, if you're doing it too quick, you're just getting tired in your muscles and then you're not getting any faster, okay?
Okay.
But what you're doing here is you, with the plyometrics, you learn your muscles to store energy and then to release very powerful, okay? And then you go into the frequency. That means here then your muscles use this energy also as quick as possible, and then you continue into the sprint. And that is what we do in the game, right? We have constantly to change movements.
It feels like I get 2 explosions.
Exactly.
And then a lot of steps and
exactly, yeah. And this will help you also because now you're really training your muscle in this braking and accelerating, and that is change of direction.
So, 30 drills to improve your speed. But what should we take a look at next? Let me know as always in the comment section right down below. Remember to grab your new boots in the link to your right if you need them. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And with those words, I'll be signing off. Happy speeding. Cheerio.